Hey everybody, it's David from Real Hardware Reviews, and today we're going to do a quick overview slash review slash worth it on the Galaxy A5. Now there's plenty of reviews already about this phone, but what I'm going to do is more of a basic understanding if it's worth it to buy in 2017. So let's break it down. The number one thing I like about this phone right now is the design and build quality. This has glass, back and front, and metal construction all around. You can easily hold it in your hands, which I like. It's not too big, not too fat. It's actually quite thin for what it's worth. And the best part about this design is that it's easy to hold in your hands. Nothing too crazy. It actually curves into your hand, which I really like. Another key aspect about the design, which I really like about it, is that it's completely flush on the back on the camera. Now, many of the phones nowadays come with a huge camera bump in the back. This phone doesn't. So when you lay it flat on the floor, it actually stays perfectly flat on the surface. No bumps, no nothing, it's just flat, which is great to have. My second thing, which I really like about this phone, is that its performance is above none. Pretty good for a mid-range phone. It has an octa-core Exynos 7880 CPU, which pretty much bolsters pretty good performance. I was surprised. I was able to do daily activities pretty easily. Nothing really that stutters, nothing really that bogs down or anything in those lines. My third thing, which I really do like about this phone, is the screen. It's a Super AMOLED screen, 1080p, full HD. I had no issues in the daylight. I could easily read text, messages, watch videos. I had not many issues with this phone to begin with the screen quality. For what it's worth for a mid-range phone, having an AMOLED screen on it, it's a top tier thing for me right now. Another thing I really love about this phone is the battery life. It lasts a day plus, guaranteed. I go to bed and it still has about 40 to 50% battery life, depending on how heavy I use the phone that day. And also, one of the great features about this phone as well is that it's completely waterproof. It has an IP68 certification, so that means you can literally take it to you when you're swimming or taking a shower or anything in those lines. Now, I wouldn't go deep diving with it, but at least you know if you drop it in a puddle of water, it's not going to cause any issues. Now, the things I don't like about this phone, it would have to be the camera. The camera is a 16 megapixel rear and front camera, autofocus on the back, no autofocus on the front. There's nothing great about it. It's okay-ish for taking pictures. I find sometimes, especially in low light situations, the camera can be a little bit grainy, not the greatest in focusing, and so forth. Now, it is 2017, and a camera should have some type of stabilization built in, optically at least in the rear. This phone has none. So of course, in nighttime shoots, it's gonna be a little bit shaky, it's gonna be a little bit blurry, it's not gonna be the greatest. Another tidbit that I don't like about the camera is the front-facing camera. It's a fixed focal length, meaning if you were to hold your phone like this, it will keep yourself in focus. But if you're doing a large group selfie, move it up a little bit further away, and majority of your shot is gonna be out of focus. The reason why being is because it has a low aperture around 1.8 to 1.9. That means if you don't hold it in a certain distance, you could be in or out of focus. Another thing I don't like about this phone, even though I did say I like the design on it, it's that it's both glass rear and front, and it's a fingerprint magnet. You just put your hand on it. I'm a greasy person, so take it off and you instantly have grease on here. Not the greatest thing in the world to have. And it looks great when it's cleaned up, but the moment you pick it up, it's just gonna become a fingerprint magnet. Another thing I don't like about it, it's the software. Now, TouchWiz has evolved to the point where it's pretty good actually, but the problem with this phone specifically is that they ship it with Marshmallow. That's at least 2 generations behind on the latest. And you bought this phone in 2017, you kinda expect the greatest and latest in software-wise. But Samsung said they're gonna be updating it soon enough, but their track history isn't the greatest in that regards, especially for a mid-range phone. Another thing I don't really like about the phone is the speaker placement on it. Usually your speakers are on the bottom or at the back or the front. Now this phone actually has the speakers on the side, right here. The issue with that, essentially, is that you can easily cover this up when you're holding the phone landscape. So, if, for example, if I were to hold this phone in landscape, which I would usually do if I were to see a movie, I'm instantly covering up the speaker. Now I don't hear much. Now I gotta move my finger a little bit to the left, to the right, so the speaker doesn't get covered up. Now if I were to flip it over on the other side, same situation. As you can see, the speaker's on this side. I'm gonna put my finger right here. Usually that's what I'm gonna hold my phone at, and it's gonna be covered up, and it's gonna sound pretty bad. Now, what do I think about this phone? For its price and what it offers, this phone is pretty good buy, not gonna lie. It has all the top tier features on flagship phone, but for mid-range price, and you can't say no to that. It's speedy, it's fast, it has a good battery life. There's a lot of good things that's worthy of buying. Samsung has priced it in around the $300 to $400 range, depending on the market you're in. And for what it's worth, I think it's a good buy. I hope you liked the video. Please like and subscribe. And this is David from Real Hardware Reviews, signing out.